This is my first live stream. I'm hoping this is loud and clear. It's been a disaster to get to this stage. But it's 10th of February 24, and I want to talk about Piers Morgan and Talk TV. And I'm seeing things that he's leaving Talk TV, but it's very hard to find any details about this. And this is always the same with especially news channels. It's like top secret. People, presenters just disappear. They're there on the Friday, and then on the Monday they're gone. You don't even know why. It's like they disappeared in a dictatorship. That's how the news channels behave. And yet they're always poking about other people's business. But yeah, there's Piers Morgan. I mean, he's a Rupert Murdoch sort of man, or whatever you want to call him. I don't know. He's maybe the saviour of Talk TV or something. He was maybe I don't know. There's something about that channel. It's just not sticky. It's not like GB News. GB News looked really good as a start-up. Then I think it lost its way a bit with Michael Portillo and Camille Tominey and that guy from the Daily Mail and his whatever. But they've managed to get their act together, and they've got some really good presenters. They've got Martin Dobney, Patrick Christie's, who's probably their best, I would say, actually. Nigel Farage, Jacob Rees-Mogg. I mean, I'm not big fans of them. I see them as sort of useful idiots in a way on one issue anyway, but only to an extent. So, yeah, anyway, it's saying that Piers Morgan is going to be leaving Talk TV. We don't know if that means he's been sacked or he wants to, because I can see it in two ways. First of all, well, Murdoch that owns Talk TV, it's sort of his Murdoch fans in disguise. He had Sky and that. He probably regrets Sky that. Now he probably regrets it's too woke, probably. I don't know, because it is. So he's waiting for Talk TV to go for that crowd who've moved to the right. But then GB News has come about, and I would imagine, I don't know, but I would imagine they're getting most of the viewers because they're almost delivering really well. Like I say, with Patrick Christie's and Martin Dobney. I think the two at midday as well. What's his name? Tom and the two posh people, if I can say that. Old school sort of Tory neocons or whatever. I mean, I don't agree with them a lot, but in some. And they do raise questions that I think are pretty good. Yeah, because that lady on that channel the other day, the Emily or whatever her name is, with this thing that happened with the lady was attacked by alkaline and thing, Emily rightly asked, I don't know what she asked was, maybe if they'd given us a description sooner, maybe the Tesco staff would have been able to alert the police or whatever, We didn't get a description, I don't know, till the next day, was it? I don't know. Anyway, so that was a good question for her. Anyway, on to Piers. Yeah, it seems that he's moving from Talk TV, so I don't know, does that mean he's moving now? Like I say, what happens in news channels is it's like dictatorships where people just disappear and you don't get a reason, so I don't know if that's him disappearing, because he just done an interview with Rishi Sunak this week. But apparently he's saying that it's too constraining. He's put out a press release anyway. I mean, I've not seen the story in the Daily Mail for some reason, but he put out a press release saying it's just too constraining, which I can understand, but I feel that these people are addicted to old media, really, which Talk TV is. It's backed by thingy. I mean, if you compare it to 2C TV, which is fantastic, it's really on the ball, and that's just, well, he's probably got 2 or 3 people working for him, but he could probably do it on his own if he wanted to. That's my 2C. I mean, these sort of channels are really on the ball, history debunked. Then there's some of the other type, like Owen Jones even. There was that Professor Tim, but I'm not a big fan of his at all. I don't really watch his anymore. Uh, I didn't really. I'm just glad there's people like that around that are doing 3 or 4 videos a day of interest on current issues. But really, I prefer history debunked and Maya to say that sort of thing. I think they're more on the ball, really. Um, so yeah, so we don't know. As was saying, it's still straining and he's very focused on his YouTube channel. But whereas Guido Fox is saying that Rupert Murdoch he pushed the button, apparently, even though I think is he not retired from whatever you call his organisation? Uh, I mean, what is he, 92 now or something? I mean, he's got a new girlfriend as well, I think, or whatever. Maybe he's got other things to do. But Guido Fox is a fantastic website. It's like a just past the centre right private eye, where I find that their stories are on the ball and they do a better job than the mainstream media a lot of the time. So they're saying that Rupert pushed the button and they just because I think Piers is was their big hope and he's getting he's probably a big chunk of the costs because he had to move away from his big fancy studio to a less fancy studio. So I don't know, maybe they knew this Rishi Sunak interview was this week and they were thinking, well, after that, I need to go. But yeah, because his ratings weren't good on TV anyway. I don't know about other people, but I'm watching them all on YouTube now, really. Even when I watch Talk TV, which I don't usually, Talk TV's try to get that sort of mix. So I just can't be bothered with that anymore. I mean, something like Question Time's like, I think if you're interested in politics, then you don't watch Question Time because it's just silly, really. You choose your channel, really. I mean, I even watched that Not the Andrew Marr YouTube channel, which I think is a really good left wing channel, and Resistance TV, although they sort of sold it to George Galloway, I think, because they sort of amalgamated with his party, the Workers' Party or whatever. I think that was a mistake. That was Chris, the former MP, who was chased out of Parliament or whatever before Jeremy and whoever else is getting chased out now that Keir's in charge. Although he went even when Jeremy was there, Corbyn. So we don't know if Piers is leaving on his own. Well, but Piers sent out a press release because I can see it from. I don't know who's telling the truth because apparently on YouTube and that you can make a lot of money, and I think the big old school media presenters are finally finding that out now because we've got Tucker Carlson for a start. He got kicked from Fox, so that was Rupert Murdoch's thing over in America, Fox News, and we thought, well, maybe that's the end of him, but he done a deal with Twitter with Elon Musk. I know it's called X, but we'll call it Twitter, okay? And he get huge ratings for that thing with Putin the other day. I mean, I can't bear Tucker Carlson. I just think he's a clown, really. I know it's the Spectator are big supporters of him. To me, he's like a sort of Ron Santos type, which is ironic because that's the one that Murdoch was funding to become president of the USA. And they say that these guys don't pull strings or whatever. Our democracies are really clean. But we had Murdoch pumping in money to Ron DeSantis' campaign, and that's how Tucker Carlson sort of reminds me of. He's not the real deal or whatever. Not that I like that politics. I think Trump's terrible. He's not fit, but I can understand why people vote for him because the systems just our electoral systems are just stupid. Really, they're archaic. It seems that the older your democracy is, the worse your electoral system is. I mean, first past the post, or I don't know what one's worse, the American or the British one. you've got to be proportional representation for a start, and you've got to have referendums all year round, quarterly, like Switzerland. Switzerland seems the most democratic country to me, from what I've seen. They have quarterly referendums where people can do any that they think, because you need to vote on single issues rather than party hampers, which we're stuck with at the moment. So anyway, Piers apparently he says he's focusing on his YouTube channel, just like me, you know. As Maya Tussey says, we are the media. Um, so yeah, he's focusing on his YouTube channel, and I'm wondering if he's looking at people like Russell, who I won't mention his surname in case YouTube don't like it, who recently. Well, actually, I don't think has he been on mainstream channels recently? I don't know, but he's made his Rumble channel. He was a big Rumble were promoting him, so he was getting a lot of money there. And I think he was really worried he was going to lose that, but he hasn't, as far as I know. But I think he's actually maybe making more on Rumble and whatever other channels, because they do things like Patreon and special clubs. I can't remember the names of the clubs now, but it's the same idea as Patreon. They're making I think he's making more money now, Russell, than he did probably when he was working in mainstream media. So I wonder if that's how Piers Morgan's looking at it. Maybe he's looking at Tucker Carlson, who's got a deal with Twitter, or X, okay, X. He's got a deal. I think somebody said that his Putin interview got 100 million views, but for me, that's a pointless interview anyway. So I'm not interested in it. What was it, 3 hours long? I just watched some clips that people put up to YouTube about the main things you're supposed to say, but it's not even worth listening to, in my opinion. So I don't know why to even waste the time, you know. So, but anyway, you get 100 million or whatever. I don't know if they get adverts there. Yeah, they have. I quite like the Twitter adverts because they're in between the posts, as long as it's not on the media. I don't know if it's, but I don't really mind the ones that are posts, you know, on Twitter. But anyway, Guido Fox is saying that Rupert Murdoch pushed the button on Amy, but like I say, I'm wondering if Piers actually wanted to leave because you can see how much money the likes of Tucker Carlson and Russell are making on this. It's a bit like when you used to say about 10 years ago, when you used to read about top Hollywood actors were appearing on Netflix and things. And at first, well, I was thinking, why would they want to give up Hollywood rather than to go to something like Netflix? But now you know that that's where the big money is. Usually it's where the big money is. So that's sort of a clue telling you maybe this is going to become a common thing now. I hope it does, because I don't really like channels. I prefer, news channels, although I like GB News in general. I support what they're doing. And I'm really glad I'm there. It would be really terrible if we didn't have GB News. And it's only been around 2 years or something. The news landscape would be atrocious, really. I mean, I can't think of one mainstream that I would watch. I don't watch any of them now, Sky or BBC or ITV. So I'm really grateful in that sense. And yeah, so I'm wondering though if this is where the big money is. And now we're going to have individual YouTube channels instead, which I think is good, because I prefer people rather than brands or whatever, you know, because that's what I hate about political parties as well. Like, it's all party hampers, you know. You've got Richard Tice with his party hamper. On one thing, he's talking the talk, but when you look at it, he's not really walking the walk with that, only to an extent. And then he's got all this sort of neocon stuff, like I don't even know, do away with red tape, but keep inches and centimetres so that we have to learn two types of measurement rather than just one. Keep miles rather than kilometre. So we've got two distance systems. This sort of thing, it's all hit and miss, and re-smog's even worse. Re-smog, I'm not sure the first industrial revolution would have happened if re-smog was in charge, or Britain would have been the last to get involved, maybe. But yeah, so it's just interesting. I'm interested to see what Piers is up to. I won't be watching his channel, funnily enough. I find him terrible, really. And when I don't know why the Daily Mirror took him, but he was found not guilty, or no, there were no charges were brought against him on that issue, or whatever. So I don't know what the media's saying on me, because Simon Cowell sort of saved his career as well, didn't he? And then that Have I Got News For You, that awful programme, which used to be mildly amusing, but Ian Hislop's quite amusing, but the other guy isn't at all. Merton or Paul Merton. I can't believe they've been doing that for like 33 years now or something. Yeah, so it'll be just interesting. And I've noticed that YouTube seems to be letting a lot of channels stay on that I would have expected to have been removed. And I wonder if they're worried about places like Rumble taking taking people away from them, They seem to be a bit more free speech, only slightly, but they've opened it up a bit. I don't know whether it's because of backlash or basically they're losing numbers, people are moving to Rumble and stuff like that. I don't know if Russell still has his YouTube channel, or I don't think he's done anything for a while, but I think he's either in Rumble or he's moved to his Unity pay-per-view thing or whatever. I don't know why people would want to listen to him anyway, because it's all conspiracy stuff. I mean, it used to be a mix of the left wing, and then it was left wing plus strange stuff. And I think it's all just strange stuff now, plus things that hinted. Well, I'm not sure about this. I'm just guessing that his mind's going to go towards Trump or whatever. I don't know. I'm not interested anyway. Same as I'm not interested in Piers, but I do hope this sort of becomes a trend, both that people start moving to their own individual online channels now, and also that YouTube keeps a sort of free speech thing, because it's getting to the stage now where you can't even discuss sensible things, or it did, but it's sort of eased up slightly, but I don't know how that's going to hang me. Why don't they have a YouTube left wing and a YouTube right wing for politics or something, something like that. Anyway, okay, that's all for just now on this subject.